It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
Fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
Thank you for doing it. I was just watching that video you posted of at the basketball game.
Yeah,
That was
a little joke
hilarious.
about like not feeling like just over time not feeling like you're anybody still.
Did that happen? Were you at a game?
Not exactly, but there was a circumstance where basically I thought I was gonna be like kind of acknowledged to some degree, because usually I am when I go to an event. Like people they go, Kid L's in the building or whatever the hell, and then I went to this thing and like literally I was like nobody. I was like, oh yeah, I am nobody. I forgot. I was like, I forgot I am nobody. It's that's a humbling experience.
Did you do sketch right? Like cause you're fucking hilarious. Like I'm a stand-up comedian, so I love like comedy, and like your sketches are fucking hilarious.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. But no, I just used to make skits with my cousins since the age of 12. So that's a long time ago. And I used to just shoot skits like nonstop. Like if I show you a basket in my basement, I literally have maybe 200 DV tapes and cassettes of sketches me and my cousins would just make every day. So that's the comedy timing just over time worked out.
And then
You
it
know?
just moved to rap after that, like making music videos and shit.
Kind of. No, I've always been shooting music videos. Since I was like 16 or 15, I was shooting them and getting paid to do them. And then not more than 4 years ago did I actually start getting involved in the actual scene itself.
What was the first? You said you were 16 when you started. Was it rap when you were shooting the first music video?
Yeah, professionally. So I was always shooting like sketches and comedy. My whole goal was to make feature films. Like growing up, that was my only goal really. And then I realized like I need to make money. So somebody had reached out to me and they said, "Hey, you make movies, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Why don't you come shoot a music video?" And I was like, "All right." They paid me, so I was like, "All right." And then it was my first experience shooting with this artist when I was about 16. That's kind of where I started in the game.
Are they doing anything now, that artist?
He tries, man. He really tries, man. And I give him props because his parents kicked him out of the house. He went through it was so funny because I started with him when we were really young and he was always persevering. And then I just remember like not seeing him for years and years and years. And then one day just his Instagram popped up and I was like, oh my God, you're still doing this? Like you're still fucking rapping? Like I couldn't believe this was like 2 years ago. Like I can't believe this. But yeah, a lot of people that I knew when I was younger still persevered. And I guess when you have the creative gene and the creative like mindset, you can't really always give it up. So some people just never quit,
Yeah, that's true, but it's also too bad when they keep going and they're not getting better. Like I'll have friends who like won't take criticism of any kind, and it's like, well, fucking how are you gonna get better? Like the only reason I'll get better is like I'll try to listen. Like I bet you get so much hate for the shit you say.
Oh yeah, for sure. So you said you do stand up?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where do you perform at local clubs? How long have you been doing it for?
So I'm from Massachusetts. I live outside of Boston, so I've been doing it like seriously like every day for I do it, I perform every night. Since I graduated college, it was like the only thing I wanted to do. So a long time. And then I'm moving to New York. Hopefully I'm moving to New York next month. And so I'll be able to do the podcast from the city and stand up from the city and kind of move on up, because Boston is a good scene, but it's a smaller scene.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's some spots out there. I know right now Texas is popping, and I know Denver is popping. LA was kind of popping, and I think that's kind of dying off now.
Yeah,
but a
I
lot
have
of
so
people
many
are
friends going to
leaving.
Austin. Yeah,
it's fucking Joe Rogan, man.
I know.
Fucking did it.
Are you a stand-up fan or a comic? Did you ever like want to do it or?
Yeah, I never got the guts to do it yet. But my growing up, I was always watching Chappelle. I watched Killing Him Softly and all of his stand-ups, and I think he was my first major influence. And then I was always watching. I don't know if you remember, Comedy Central used to have like they used to have this thing. I forget what it's called. It's like Comedy Central Stand Up Presents, and then it would be
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, some kind of newer comedian. And I used to watch like Dat Fan and like Ari Spears and stuff. And I was just like, fuck, I love this shit, you know. But I never got the guts like you to get on stage and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's funny that you will like, but you got the guts to do other shit. Like it's you know, like you're successful enough. It's not like you didn't do anything, but yeah, comedy was always. I got in a bad hockey accident. I didn't even play I just wanted to play hockey to impress a girl, and then like 2 months after starting, I got in a real bad accident, and I just had to like lay in a room for a month, and I just like listened to stand up and podcasts, and I was like, oh shit, this is something I want to do, and I was like 16. I've just been ever since then
What kind of
focused on
hockey
it.
accident did you have?
This is the stupid, like looking back now, it was such a stupid thing. I went to the #1 like hockey high school, like almost in the country. And I'd never played hockey before. And the girl I was dating broke up with me and then was like, I want to date a hockey guy. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll try playing to get her back. And like in practice, our first like scrimmage, I got hit from the back and my head hit the boards and I hit the ground. Never played hockey again. Didn't get her back. She left me for a deaf hockey player. And
Jeez,
and
man.
now I'm a stand-up. Now I'm a comedian.
Hey, it all worked out. I actually played hockey for a long time too, man. I played roller and ice. And I didn't realize the transition from roller to ice would be so fucked up. I didn't realize you can't just transition from roller to ice. Like it's not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
So I was playing ice and my team actually made it to the playoffs. Dude, my girlfriend's in the stands, okay? This is like, and I'm still sucky at skating, I'm still sucky at everything. They're like blasting the music, getting everybody like out, like, oh, well, team one is out. And I came out fell instantly as I got on the ice, like instantly. And I was on my knees just sliding because I couldn't get up and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I just remember, like, dude, imagine just sliding and like everybody's just staring at you, like, what the fuck is this? But after that, I was like, you know what, let me stop with the sports, man. I want to do it, but I don't think it's working out for me.
And look where we are. We hockey changed.
Yeah.
Embarrassing hockey incidents changed us.
Yeah, I haven't really ever met a funny guy that's good at sports. I don't think I found a funny guy that's actually good at sports yet in my
No,
life.
they have too much at that point. You can't be athletic and funny. That doesn't happen. That's why
Yeah, I
it
agree.
sucks when you see like, I don't know, like Peyton Manning whenever he was on like SNL and shit was like pretty funny. And I'm like, shit. Or when I see, I guess that's not true. You said you were a Chappelle fan. So like he would talk about how like rappers are really funny. And it's like, they are,
Yeah.
like, they're hilarious. You know,
Yeah.
like.
That is true. Most rappers I know are actually superbly funny. And sometimes I go, like, some of the ones who are okay at rapping, I'm like, dude, you should try comedy, bro.
I
Like,
say the same thing. I'll be like,
yeah.
you should come with me and perform. And they're like, oh, no, I couldn't do that.
Man, no, seriously, they have some because their punchlines in their rap songs are seriously funny sometimes. But then sometimes it's literally just like, dude, you don't realize that, like, you don't have to be a rapper. You could actually try other venues of entertainment and still be very well respected and stuff, and still hold your gangster image. Nobody's gonna
Yeah.
think you're soft because you're a comedian, dude. Like, you could still be a hard comedian.
It's true. Yeah, it's do you know who Mayhem Loren is? He's like he's Action Bronson's opener. He like co-hosts his show and stuff, but he was always talking like the biggest gangsters smile. Like you don't have to be like all tough all the time. Like you can laugh and have a
Yeah.
good time. That's why I like the Michigan scene a lot. It's like it's hilarious. Like
Oh yeah.
some of the punchlines and shit. And like I know you're not a big fan of YNJ, but
You watched that clip, didn't you?
I did watch that clip.
You know what's actually
Have you gotten
hilarious
hate
about
from
that? What's that?
Have you gotten hate from that?
No, you know what's actually really funny? I don't really listen to that guy at all, but my name is on a song that he's in.
Yeah, Wasada, right? He shouts
yeah.
you out.
So like that was the only messages I started getting, like, bro, didn't they like put you on a song? Why the fuck would you do that? And then I was like, bro, it has nothing to do with somebody stealing somebody else's fucking style. I kind of felt like Joe Rogan called out Carlos Mencia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously I'm not at that stature at all, even 1%, but like I kind of felt like, dude, like everybody's obligated to support the guys who don't have a voice, no matter
Mhm.
what level you're at. It's not like Joe Rogan was the biggest guy in the world. He was obviously substantially bigger than whatever fucking name I have. But it's like you have that obligation to point things out that are unjust. And if you can get that reach and you can get that out there, then you're obligated to, man. You can't let you can't let little guys get stepped on like that, especially because I like that guy he stole the style from. You
What's
know,
the guy's name? Because I'd love to listen to his stuff.
his name is Young Lillard, YUNJ. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, Young Lil Lord. So YUNJLIL Lord.
I'll have
So
to check that out. But he
yeah,
started that like style.
dude, totally got ripped, bro. Like I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. He got ripped,
Yeah.
fucking ripped.
Is there like a difference in scenes between like Flint and Detroit?
A little bit. I don't really pay attention to the Flint scene too much. I don't really pay attention to any of the scenes really. To be honest, I know a lot of people think I do. I really don't.
Yeah.
I just know who I know, and that's all I base it off of. You know, I don't really get too deep into it.
Well, yeah, you probably have. I mean, you do. I watch every episode of your podcast where you review the music. Like, you just get so much that you're probably like inundated by it. You know what I mean? Like every week you're watching these artists, and sometimes they're good, but a lot of times they're trash.
Yeah, I would say so, man. It's like I said, I don't pay attention to the music, the scenes. I listen to I don't really listen to hip hop as that's like I listen to like 5% of hip hop in my whole portfolio of what I listen to every day. It's like 5% of it would be hip hop, and
What do you
maybe
listen
just
to?
I actually, dude, I go back to like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Radiohead, Muse, System of a Down, Nirvana. You know, like I'm not music is music to me though. So like I am a hip hop fanatic. Like when I grew up listening to the majority of the time hip hop, but then once I hit age 20, I broke away from it and it got too repetitive. But when I'm on the podcast listening to music, for me, it's not really about it being rap or hip hop. It's more as like, is this a good song or not? Like, does it
Mhm.
make sense? Does it sound good? Is it entertaining? I don't really look at it as like, oh, it's a hip hop song, therefore, like that's how I'm sectionizing or, kind of putting it into perspective like that. So that's kind of how I just look at it as music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just music.
Do you feel like you should get like, are people going to start sending you classical songs like that they composed, or like some singer songwriter, like some depressed dude with a ponytail and a guitar is going to send his song in for you to review?
Yeah, there has been people who sent music that's not hip hop oriented, which is awesome. I think once the podcast gets bigger and bigger, it's gonna because he only averaged like 3 to 5 thousand views, right? So it's still very relatively micro. But I think once it gets to like 10 to 20,000 views, I think more people are from other genres will hop in. Hopefully, you know.
Well, what made you start it then if like rap isn't something that did you just start it to listen to music?
No, no, no. Like I said, I've always been hip hop oriented growing up. I just don't really listen to it as much anymore. But
Yeah.
I just woke up. I'm very involved in the scene in Detroit in the hip hop community. I'm very very involved in it. So I used to make skits like about 3 years 4 years ago about how everything's repetitive and the same in the hip hop scene in Detroit. And back then, I was actually getting more noticed for it than I am now. Because I was more aggressive in how I was saying it. I was very, very aggressive how I was saying how everything's repetitive and the same and all that shit. Anyway, one day, like a couple of years ago, I woke up. I was like, dude, I gotta fucking let these guys know they fucking all sound the same. And I just went and I started the studio setup and I said, let me just film myself reviewing music. And then literally it just took off instantly. Like every week I was getting booked and booked and booked to review people's music. So I was like, fuck it, people are listening to me. Big names were from the city wanted to get on. So I was like, okay, I'm doing something right. You know.
That's I mean, you do shit on some people's music. Do you get like hate? Do people like get angry at you?
Yeah, at first it was really, 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 really bad. Like I had death threats. I had people saying they were gonna like, don't come to the city or don't come here, don't come there. I had people who had confronted me in person. I had people who
Well, how'd you get? Wait, how long into it did you get confronted in person?
within the first 2 months of me doing it.
And you kept going?
Yeah, and then I also got confronted by a major platform, like there's like 3 major platforms in Detroit for music, and one of those platforms reached out to me saying, "Hey, you need to stop that show." And he said I was culture appropriating and stuff like that. He was a really, really major name in the city, and I screenshotted what he had said to me, and I had posted it, and he just got serious backlash when I posted it, because they were like they were basically telling his platform to shut the fuck up, because they were saying like, I'm not culture appropriating and there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. And I actually had major names in the city, like major names in the city, come to my defense in person against that guy who ran that platform and saying, don't fucking talk to our guy. Like, leave him the fuck alone. He's not culture appropriating. Leave him the fuck alone. That actually, I thought that was going to hurt my leg, like hurt what I was doing, but it actually ended up making what I was doing even bigger, because of that conflict interested people, that person of such stature went after me, a little guy, and they knew I was in the right. Nobody supported. Actually, there was a few people who supported him, that were on his side, but overall, the majority of it was on my side, which was very shocking. Like, literally, I had like 500 comments of people saying, "Don't worry, you're fine, you're good. We support the fuck out of you. Don't worry about this fucking guy," which was shocking to me. You know, it was shocking.
I mean, that's your Joe Rogan moment. You're talking about like that you literally just described his story, but in your terms. Like, you got
In the micro
stood
scale,
up.
yeah, in the micro
Yeah, on
scale,
a micro scale, but like you stood up and people came to support because it was real shit. Like, you're not doing it to be rude. Like, it's never from a place of like hatred. You're actually trying to be like, listen, if you want to do so, like if you want to do something, you actually have to like listen to advice and get better.
Yeah. And you know, if you watch Gordon Ramsay, or if you watch anybody who is like so inclined to sharpen people's abilities, they're not all nice and gentle about it. You know what I'm saying? And I never liked when people were, I always made bigger strides and change in my life when somebody was harsh and cut with me, versus if they were so polite with me. If you're so polite with everybody, it's not going to shake their heads up. You know what I'm saying? Like, plus on another scale, a lot of people like confrontational criticism, because it just, for whatever reason, people like the sensation of like, oh my God, he's fucking like tearing this guy apart. So I would always tell people like, listen, even though I'm tearing your ass apart right now, you're getting more exposure. If I wasn't doing it the way I was doing it, nobody will fucking watch. So it's either this show doesn't exist and you don't send your music and you don't get a review, or the show exists and you get a review even though I might be harsh with you. So pick a fucking.
It's like, you put yourself in that situation. It's like, who's that dude who just roasts the fuck out of women? He's always online. Keith Samuel. What's that dude's name? Ani, do you know that dude's name?
I know a
Marcus.
lot of.
He always wears a suit and then he tells women why they suck. And they'll like call in and he'll be like, how much do you weigh? How many kids do you have? Like, what the fuck is that guy's name? Anyway, like, they put themselves in that situation. It's not like you're picking random songs off the internet and like just roasting the fuck out of them. Like,
yeah, no, I've never went and searched a song. I always made it, you have to send it in.
Yeah. And has any of the artists actually like you've been doing it for like over a year now, right?
Man, I want to say 2 years. We're on episode 65 tomorrow. So, and I've been doing it once a week. So that would mean it's about a year and a few weeks, if you think about it. Yeah.
Has anyone gotten big after being on your podcast?
You know, it's insane. There's 3 artists that actually got some decent ass exposure based off my reviews. One of them, there's 3 that were good songs and one person that was a bad song, but he still got major exposure because I blew it. I lit his ass up. I posted his clip saying like the worst song of the night, and he actually got a lot of exposure because a lot of people were opposed to me saying that it was the worst song. So yes, there's one artist named 2G Scoob who got a lot of exposure. There's an artist named oh my god, why the heck did I just forget his name? Well, there's a couple artists that they're IMB Tay, and there's another artist that's slipping my mind, but a lot of major artists actually reposted his song after I posted it. And they didn't credit whatever. They didn't like credit the fact that it was on my podcast, but everybody started reposting this guy's song. I cannot believe I can't remember his name. But then there was this one guy who made a song that was terrible, but it was actually good. It was weird. It was like a disco song, and his song ended up getting a lot of exposure, and he ended up getting a lot of exposure because of the podcast.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's only a
There's
few people.
there's one artist I listened to that Hellboy Rod is his name. He was
Yeah,
on,
Hellboy.
and I actually fuck with him, and that's I mean like one of the I mean I like that Cash Addicted with I like
Cash Addict,
Wheelchair Cash
yeah.
Addict. I like Wheelchair Goat a lot. But there are some good like, but it is like you also are good. You do your you interview artists too, which you started that after you did the music reviews.
Yeah, that was like maybe 3 months ago or less.
Yeah. But you're
Yeah.
getting like big names on your shit. Like it's cool that the podcast is taking off. Like it's cool to watch and see like the bigger names get on it. You know what I mean? In the area.
Oh
Do
yeah, no,
you-
I appreciate that. Yeah.
You said you didn't think it was gonna like blow up off like when it first started.
The music reviews, no, and I don't like. I wouldn't even consider it blowing up. I would say that the interesting thing about the podcast is that, I mean, every week it gets 3 to 5 thousand views on Instagram, right? Like
Mhm.
consistently, it rarely misses, and then sometimes it'll hit 10 to 15 thousand views, depending on if a major artist was on it and he reposted it. Sometimes it will get like 10 to 15 thousand views, which is awesome. But I think the thing that's interesting is that the people watching it are very either in the industry and they actually care. People who are like, it's about who's watching it more than the views for me. That's the thing
Mhm.
about it. It's like I know, and the people that engage with it and that care to give feedback and care to engage with the actual artists that are on the podcast. But I'm sorry, what was the question again? I apologize for
No,
that.
I don't even remember at this point, but it's true. I think the authenticity, it's not you're just doing it for views. That's what makes it more interesting. Like this podcast, people said don't start a podcast over quarantine or whatever because everyone does it, but I was authentic. I wanted to talk to the people I'm fans of. Like I don't listen to many podcasts, but I like your podcast, so I want to talk to you. And I like that type of like, and the authenticity is what shows, I hope, in my work, but it shows in your work. It shows that you're not just doing it to be like, oh, how many views am I going to get? It's like, no, you're doing it because you want to do it. You like it.
Yeah, no, it's one of the most, the things that gets me excited. And I think what you were asking me earlier is about how those guests that I get on the show, and there's some names that were kind of, pretty relevant in the scene. And I've actually built a relationship with over those people. Everybody, just like how you said, like I only want people that I really like or am interested in. That's the same thing I'm doing with the podcast where people come on the show or like their interviews and stuff. Everybody there I actually had a relationship with previously or worked with, and or I was interested in meeting them and had them on. And that's always how I want it to be. I don't think I'm ever going to do it where I'm totally not interested. But on a side note, workout for me with the interviewing people on the podcast. It's a workout every week. I don't really, sometimes I will interview people that maybe I'm not totally interested in, but I know that I'm working out. Because when I watch the Joe Rogan podcast, I always remember him talking about working out, like just keeping the muscles going, in your brain that help you to interview somebody or help you engage with somebody and talk and knowing your spots of when to talk, when not to talk, and generating ideas, remembering ideas, and being creative throughout that process.
You said you're like practicing. Do you see like, you said you wanted to make a movie. Do you want to write a movie one day, or do you want like a talk show? Do you have like growing ideas?
I want to make a movie one day. I'm not totally sure about when that's going to happen. But right now, yes, I'm working out. It's just like how stand-ups. I know you go to, I mean, I used to work at a comedy club, and
Did you?
yeah. I used to work at Detroit Comedy Underground. I was, who Mike Stanley is?
Yes, I do. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mike Stanley owned the Detroit Comedy Underground before he went to Denver. And I used to film the stand-ups, and I saw a lot of stand-ups that would just they were from the, major TV shows, or they were, and I was always like, it was kind of interesting because I didn't realize they were working out when I first got there. For like the first few weeks, I was like, why are you telling these jokes? These jokes suck, dude. And then one day I realized, oh, they're working out. Like this is their way of working out. like they would grab their like notebook and look at their notebook. I'm like, why are you looking at the notebook, dude? Like you're a fucking comedian. Then one day I was like, oh, this is they're just grinding and twisting, turning the wheels. So 1 second. Sorry, I disconnected there. Am I still
No
here?
problem. Yeah, you're still there.
So yeah, I realized that was part of the process, and now I'm learning that this is what happened.
No, yeah, like I mean, even though I knew like people
Oh,
kind of already,
Ani,
it's like I came to the city
what
saying, well,
is
if I didn't
happening?
have my current roommate now, I would have just like found a sublet. or
Uh,
something.
Wait, hold on.
Hey.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
you. There we go. All right, you were talking about what comics working out. I was like, oh, who is that voice? Where is that voice coming from?
Laura arrived. Sorry. Continue.
Am I still connected? Am
Yeah,
I
you're still
messing up?
connected. Yeah, you were
Okay.
talking about like seeing comedians look at their notebooks and being like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. So everybody was working out, and then I would study it, and I would just be like, "Oh, this is working out. This is how you grind the wheels until you figure out who you are." And I feel like I've been doing that, and I feel like what I'm doing now is for whatever the fuck I'm gonna do in the future. I'm preparing for 3 years from now, 4 years from now. So all these interviews I'm doing, even the music reviews, I never miss a week. I'll never miss a week. If I'm every week I'm interviewing somebody, every week I'm doing the podcast, every week I'm making one skit, every week I'm thinking of one creative idea to do, so that I'm always turning these wheels for 3 and 4 years from now when my comedic flavors are balanced. I'll be ready to do whatever the fuck's on the table for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right now I don't, it's all workout, but it's all very fun. And I'm making money off the entertainment industry, which is a blessing, because you know how fucking hard that is, man. Like to say that you can make a living entertaining is a dream. I don't care if you're making 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, 30,000 a year. If you're making a living off of the entertainment industry, I can't, like, sometimes I almost want to cry. I'm just like, bro, like, what? I was delivering pizza 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what the fuck? Like, not like even 2 years ago, I was like, shit, dude, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I got to get my life together. I can't be doing this Instagram stuff. I can't be at these events. Like, I'm going nowhere. And then one day it all just clicked and I was making money. It's like literally every day I was waking up to cash apps and PayPals and come to this event, come to that event. Can you be a part of this? Can you be a part of that? Review my music, shoot my music video. It's like, what the fuck, dude? So it's all a workout, but I'm getting paid to be in it. So it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, because no one teaches you. Like when you're young, no one teaches you that you don't have to go with the norm. Like you can make money through entertainment or be your own boss, and no one ever teaches you that. And congratulations for doing that. You said it was what happened? Like what flipped that switch like 2 years ago?
So yeah, like I started my Instagram page like 4 years ago, and that gave me leverage because I was shooting for major artists in the city. And it just gave me leverage because they vouched for me, as in, like, this guy's cool. Like, this guy is not a fucking, he's not trying to steal, or like, he's not a culture vulture, like, type shit. Because when you're not African American, I guess, in the city of Detroit, a lot of people are like, well, who's this fucking Chaldean guy or Arabic guy or white guy? What do you think you're doing here? Like, this is our thing, not your thing. So the major artists, like including Sada Baby, vouched for me instantly, saying like, yo, this cat's a real cat. Like, he's here to be here. He's not here because he's trying to just be here. He wants to be in the entertainment industry. Like, so once I initially got that vouch, and I was proving myself because I was shooting music videos that were, phenomenal, and I was getting millions of views on my music videos I was shooting and editing, I slowly just started diving into my roots of comedy acts and stuff like that, which people accepted right away. Year one, year two was just me shooting music videos, shooting a music video for $300 to $500, maybe sometimes $1,000, getting lucky, and just constantly grinding and grinding and grinding. But it was almost no money. It's almost like you're starving to survive. Like, you're barely making it. And then I think 2 years ago, it just all finally clicked. My fan base was at like 10,000 followers, and there was just enough circulation of my content for me to always stay relevant, because I was constantly producing content, high quality content or very good content. I was going viral maybe once a month. Like, I would make something and everybody would share it. So I was always staying relevant. And then last year was the best note, because like it was just constantly staying relevant off the fan base I had built and gaining new traction. because when somebody comes to your page and they see you have 15,000 followers, they're more likely to subscribe and see what you're all about. So it was just a matter of building a fan base, staying extremely consistent, going viral here and there, and having support from major players in the city. Because also when people see that major players are supporting, you know, Sada Baby, Helava, DJ BJ, and all these major guys, GMAT Cash, there is more, you know, trust in me. There's more like, hey, this guy's the real deal. So it's just progressively over time, you know, it's just an overtime thing. Just like college is like a 4-year thing before it all soaks in, and then you figure out what degree you're going to take, and you know your job. It's just like that with the comedy world. You stick to it for like 4 or 5 years, you're going to make maybe a living or a little bit below a living off of it if you stay consistent as fuck. So that's kind of the last 2 years were the most consistent, and also the foundation was built.
And not like the consistency, not missing, like never missing. Like I'll see podcasts that started around the same time as mine and had the same like level, but when I see them take months off or like take weeks off of releasing episodes, I realize, okay, I just have to, even if I'm not feeling it, just like stick through it and keep moving, because that's the only way that the working out, you're going to get fat if you stop working out. Like you have to stay consistent. Consistency is key with it.
How, what year is your podcast in? How relatively new is it?
It's very new. It's I'd say it's almost a year, but this is going to be episode 70 something, because about the Rogan style, about, I don't know, 6 months in, I was like, the second half of the week, I'm bored. I'm doing stand-up every night, but I want to do 2 episodes a week. So I started doing 2 interviews a week. And that was right when I started to pick up. So for the past 6 months, I do 2 a week now, and I haven't even missed that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. 2 a week is 2 a week's actually pretty damn good. It's actually pretty damn solid.
It's tough sometimes, but also I love it. Like I love talking to people. I love stand up and I love talking to people. So if I can make money and try to figure out my life doing that, then it's perfect. Cause like I'm a big fan of, I love the Michigan scene, and I love Buffalo. Like I love Griselda. I don't know if you listen to Boldy James. He's out of Detroit, but he's part of Griselda, and that scene I find the same way, where it's I don't know, it's just the consistency and putting out a lot of music at a consistent pace. It works. Yeah, you said you knew Boldy. He is like a different style than everything else in the city.
Yeah. There's a lot of comedians and artists out here that stand out, and you know, not all of them have major names, but a lot of, like, you know, obviously Jackpot the Juice and Haha Davis are from Detroit. But then there's also Josh. I don't know if you know Josh Adams from Detroit. He's kind of like a gem we have in the city too. His social media is relatively not like totally booming, but if you go see him on stage, dude, fucking, that's a real comedian. God damn it, that's a real fucking comedian. You can't put any of the social media comedians on a stage that will stand against Josh Adams. That's a real life comedian.
You have to do it every day. You have to be consistent with it. Like I get up on stage 5 days a week. Like
ridiculous. What play club do you perform at the most?
I would say right now, because it's quarantine, I mean, I guess things are opening back up now, but during the past year, I was performing a lot in Providence, Rhode Island, because Rhode Island was open. There's a club named Askew. Shout out Askew. Great club. I'm doing a show there May 22nd. If you want to buy tickets, go to sambuckcomedy.com. But Askew, there's a club called the Comedy Studio in Boston, which before was like a great place that you could get up. And I mean, it's all over. A lot of it is bar shows too. A lot of it is just like travel. It doesn't matter where I can perform as long as I can get up on stage. You know, it's like, I love doing it. I just did one outdoors at Faneuil Hall in Boston, which is like an outdoor market, an outdoor show with people just walking by. And I loved it. It's just...
Are you more of engaging with the audience, or are you like kind of just stick to the script, or like what kind of
no, I engage with I like to tell stories, and I like to be like, I'm not like a one-liner joke teller, but I like to engage with the audience, because it's like conversations. I like talking to people. So even if I'm on stage, I like to like have the audience understand what I'm saying. So I need to understand them a little bit.
Right on, yeah.
Why haven't you ever done it? You should you
Um,
just
Man, honestly, to tell you the truth, I am going to one day. It's it's I think it's fear for sure, which is okay. I know I'm gonna get through it and just get on stage and just get over it. I think I can do it, man. I really do. I think I can do it. I just got to get through the fear and do it. Talking to you makes me want to do it more, and I hate that because my adrenaline's rushing thinking about it. But yeah, my adrenaline is really just rushing, which is really wild because I'm not shy of people. I just know that being a comedian is a real thing. It's not like I just said. There's comedians with millions of followers on Instagram that they can go on stage and they'll bomb. They will bomb. Like they will do terrible. Like they will do terrible. And then there's comedians who, just like Josh Adams, not the biggest social media fan base, but that's a real comedian. So I also don't want to disrespect the craft. So I'm going to do it very slowly and very gradually. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to do it like just like how you said, like open mic night. Fucking hop in and see what you got. I probably should have took the opportunity when Mike Stanley was here because I could have just gotten on the stage.
Yeah, you were
I could have
working at a comedy club.
Yeah, I could have like, hey Mike, like, can I just try this shit? Because you know the doorman even get on stage. So I should have probably taken the opportunity.
But you probably see like rappers like that or musicians like that where they take it as like a hobby where they'll do it like, you know, they're not actually like the artists that make it are the ones who are putting the most time into it. It's to get to that 10,000 hours, you know?
Yeah, I got to check it out, man. I'm also in a band, so it's like,
What do you play?
I play the drums, man. So I,
You never post that shit. I had no idea.
yeah, we were, you might not know these things, but like, I don't know if you ever heard of Arts Beats and Eats or Dally in the Alley.
Yeah.
We performed there, last year. Fucking crazy shit. We were on the newspaper for Detroit News. We were like, for some reason, Dally in the Alley, which is like one of the biggest events here, we were front page. Our band was literally front page, first time performing.
Damn, what's your band's name?
Avatar mode, AVATAR mode, and it's insane. But like, yeah, man, I mean, like once the band, because COVID kind of slowed us down. Once the band comes up, I'm gonna be performing twice a week with them, and then I got the social media thing, and then I gotta find time. I'm making excuses, but I gotta fucking find time.
You're busy. You're busy, and it is something that like you listen to. You once you start, you have to like dive headfirst in it. You can't like dabble in it, so it's hard to make that first step.
Yeah, man. I don't want to get into it, just like you're saying right now. I don't want to get into it and just be like, oh, all right, and walk out and come back 6 months later. Like I want to. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it the right way.
What genre of music do you guys play? Avatar mode.
So I think it's, I mean, I guess you can call it, God damn it, we always like talk about, indie post rock, like, if you want to mix Radiohead, Muse, Dave Matthews Band, and, Bad, Not Good, and, Explosions in the Sky, I guess you could say, Tame Impala, like just fucking put that in a jumbo stew and we're there somewhere.
How long have you been doing? How long has that band been to?
Well, I've been playing drums. We've been together for more than 15 years. Okay, like 12 to 15 years. Never took it seriously until the past 2 years. And right when we started taking it seriously, we were getting on shows all the time and recording stuff, and people really dig our style. I'll send you a link to it.
I'd love to hear that. That's cool that it happened 2 years ago, and that I feel like there were two types of people over this past year, especially like people who didn't do shit, literally just shut down for the year, or people who actually like went out and it's like, well, if other stuff isn't open, let me try to move with the change with the times and actually build over this year. Because some people just took this year off, like almost as if it didn't happen and didn't do shit, and they're not going to be able to join back up when it opens back. Like you can't just take a year of your life off.
Not in the entertainment industry, dude.
No. Well, it is cool. Like Ape Shit, is one of my favorite. I love that music video, and I didn't even know you directed it until like recently when I started watching your podcast, and then I went back and I was like, oh shit, this is like you've been doing this a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, social media wise, 4 years, 4 or 5 years. But as far as life goes, I've been, let's say a good 10-year run.
You said you want to make a movie in the future. You want to do but right now it's just like the podcast and like, do you have anything planned coming up?
So right now it's I shoot music videos. That's the bread and butter. I
You have any
music
coming
review-
up?
Yeah, I got plenty coming up. Just people you wouldn't know, or just people you would not know at all. But when you shoot music,
who should I listen to?
shit, man, you got me on the spot now. Usually, you see, music videos is kind of it's like shooting commercials sometimes where, like, it's like nobody, it's hard to explain. I can't get into it, but
No,
music
you
videos
don't want to be shitting on. I understand. You can't shit where you eat. I understand.
Yeah, so you're always shooting music videos. Music videos, like I shoot all the time. People show up at video shoots like, oh shit, you're directing this constantly, because it's like I don't promote that I'm shooting music videos because I don't have to.
Mhm.
Which is a blessing. It's like a blessing that I don't have to promote shit really anymore, which is amazing. Like maybe a story post, I'll have to say like, but I haven't had to say that I shoot music videos in 4 years and I still get booked for them every week. I haven't said that I have to, send your music for review too often and they get sent. I haven't had to invite too many people to my podcast. I don't have to do too much anymore because my name is established enough where it just circulates on its own. But just constantly in the entertainment scene in Detroit, I'm lucky that I'm getting to be able to do whatever the fuck I want and people support me, because I saw a lot of other directors trying to do what I do or trying to start different things and just not given that respect to do both things. Like I know directors that try to make music now, they don't get that respect. I know directors that try to do comedy don't get the respect. Try to do podcasts, don't get the respect. For some reason, people are allowing me to do skits, allowing me to do a music review podcast, allowing me to interview guests, allowing me to shoot music videos and do all these projects, whatever the fuck I really want to do, and constantly supporting the shit out of me. And it's just a fucking blessing, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It's just insane. It's really insane.
And it's awesome. And I am a fan, and there's a reason you have something to give the universe, and it's cool to see. And I appreciate you coming on and talking about it. And it's nice meeting you, not in person, but through Zoom. Thank you for coming on.
Of course, man. Of course. Anytime. Sam Buck, right? That's how
Sam Buck. What's your Instagram so you can plug your shit so people can watch?
Yeah, the Instagram is at kid.l.video. So kid.l.video.
Awesome. And if you're ever in New York, I'll hit you up and I'm going to get you up on stage.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. You're definitely the person I need to support me, man. I feel like your vibes would be so crucial for me to have the confidence.
Yeah, no. And then I'll just shit on you on a comedy review. I'll do a comedy review podcast. You're shitting on me. But no, thank you for coming on, man. It was nice meeting you.